the show.
Thank you for having
Guys,
me.
check this out.
This
This is
a
very
book
important.
that will get some people really orgasmic and some Republicans' nightmares for years.
Hopefully.
Give people money.
Yes.
Not let them earn money, just give people money. On a basic level, what does universal basic income mean?
So the idea would be that a government, in this case our government, would give everybody the equivalent of a Social Security payment. So you would just get $500 or $1,000 a month maybe, just for living and breathing and being in the United States.
So you would just get paid to just be.
Yes.
That's it.
That's it. It's a very, very simple, revolutionary idea.
Right, okay, so simple idea, complex in execution.
Yes.
You know, because as soon as you say universal basic income, immediately people jump to communism, socialism.
Right.
You are going to give people money, then your first question is, why would people bother working?
Right, so the idea is that it wouldn't be enough money to stop people from working. So if you had $500 a month from the government, it's very unlikely that you would quit working. We have actually a lot of studies that have shown that even with more money than $500 a month, people don't stop working. And the people who do stop working, there's not that many of them, tend to be the parents of young children.
Right.
They tend to be young folks who are staying in school for longer. And then they tend to be older folks who perhaps retire or take it easy a little bit earlier.
When you speak about the labor force, I mean, you've gotten a lot of pushback on this book. You know, the Wall Street Journal, for instance, saying, why give people money? Why not focus on giving people jobs? Isn't that more important than just giving them a handout?
Yeah, I mean, so people want to work, and it's not necessarily a bad idea. But imagine having the government run a giant jobs program that was designed to employ like 50% of the labor force. That would be a really hard and expensive thing to do. And the great thing about giving people money is you give them choice, and you support the economy in that way. You don't have to come up with 30 million jobs.
Right. If you look at people who are already paying tax, there are many people in America who would say, I pay my fair share of taxes. There are already programs that help. As you said, Social Security, there are people who get grants from the government. Why should they now also get another level of assistance in basic income while I have to pay more tax? How would you respond to that?
So it probably wouldn't be everybody who would be paying more in tax, right? It would be very rich people and perhaps corporations that would be paying more in tax.
Which they don't.
But the thing that this would do was it would really give more help to low-income families.
Right.
Even now, with the good economy that we have, 1 in 7 Americans is in poverty, more than 20% of children. And so the safety net that we have isn't working in a lot of cases. And so I think that you've seen a lot of, political strife and concerns about inequality in this country, and this feeling that there's a need for bigger solutions if the problem is going to be so big.
It's a powerful issue that, I mean, everyone is debating. You have many tech leaders joining in and saying, I think we need to look at this. President Obama in South Africa, in his speech, actually just said the same thing. He said maybe we should be looking at universal basic income. There is, I guess, one question that would always loom over, and that is, historically in America, you'd be naive to propose any idea involving giving people money if we don't acknowledge that race will always come into it. There'll be a factor,
Yes.
and that is race.
Yes.
Do you think it is a program that could be passed in America, thinking of how welfare has been attacked,
We need people like her. Yes, we need people like her.
It's a real challenge. So the reason that we don't have the kind of safety net that you see in sort of similar countries, whether Canada or Europe, is largely because of race and racism, right? We as a country have just really hated the idea of giving money to people and then, we judge them for how they use it, right? You see this embedded in the programs that we already have. If you have food stamps or SNAP benefits, we say you can buy this kind of food but not that kind of food.
Right.
And we have a lot of requirements for programs that very low income people use. And so this would be a counterbalance to that, but I do think it's right that you would have a large group of people in the United States, and we have a culture that really valorizes work that would object to this and say, I'm just not okay with that.
Right.
I do think that it's a very big challenge to it, but it's not a reason not to do it.
It's a challenge. It's exciting. It's fascinating, and it's one of the reasons I enjoyed the book. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.